If you want to learn how to turn the impossible into possible, you've come to the right place. Top Wonders will share this with you in today's video. We will show you how China transformed its largest barren deserts into vast agricultural lands by cultivating unique crops. One of these is a type of rice that can now grow in deserts and warm regions. So without further ado, let's dive into our story today. Before we get into the main content, I hope you will like the video and subscribe to the channel. Turning deserts into profit is no easy task, but let's see how China accomplishes this. China's plan is to grow upland rice in its 8 largest deserts. Chinese scientists have halved the growth cycle of conventional rice varieties cultivated in desert greenhouses in Xinjiang. This is considered a commendable agricultural innovation for Beijing, as the country seeks new methods to ensure domestic food security. According to reports, the cost of growing rice on these arid lands is over 2,000 yuan per acre, including expenses for land, water, fertilizers, drip irrigation systems, labor, machinery, and other costs. The desert cultivation program has been highly effective, helping to limit desert expansion, prevent sandstorms, reduce soil erosion, and protect local agriculture. What you see here is exactly what's happening. Not a miracle, but a reality. There is farmland in the middle of the Kubuchi Desert in northern China. Controlling deserts is a common challenge for the international community, and China's Kubuchi Desert is offering its own solution. After years of effort, vegetation now covers more than half of the Kubuchi Desert. However, local residents say that desert control is a profession that will be passed down from generation to generation. In the arid region of Xinjiang, China, farmers demonstrate that small ideas can grow into significant changes. Many places across China have launched new initiatives to sell and cultivate alkali-resistant rice, also known as sea rice, to increase production as the country strives to ensure food security amid an increasingly unstable global food market. State broadcaster CCTV reported that this experiment is the first successful application of new techniques in a climate-controlled desert environment, paving the way for rapid cultivation in year-round arid regions. The effort to farm in barren or abandoned areas is becoming increasingly necessary, as China has a smaller proportion of arable land relative to its population size. According to researchers at the Chinese Academy of Agricultural Sciences, this experiment was conducted using a soilless farming method with controlled temperature and artificial lighting. The results showed that traditional rice varieties were ready for harvest in just 60 days. The experiment took place in Hotan, a county in the southwestern part of the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. In contrast, using conventional farming methods, this process would take 120 to 150 days. In major rice-growing regions in the south or northeast, the rapid growth rate of rice plants had been documented in laboratory settings as early as 2021, but the success of the experiment in Xinjiang offers the potential for broader application. This is due to the lower cost of building and equipping facilities in the area, as well as the longer days and more pronounced temperature differences between day and night. New farming methods are being tested more frequently in the Xinjiang region as Beijing seeks to expand food production in more areas. In October 2023, researchers announced a large test field on the edge of the Taklamakan Desert, where they cultivated salt-tolerant rice varieties that have a much higher yield compared to salt-tolerant rice grown elsewhere. Just 2 months earlier, media outlets also reported a technological breakthrough in aquaculture in the region, with freshwater fish, tiger prawns, abalone, and lobsters being raised at local fisheries. In Xinjiang, cotton usually constitutes the majority of agricultural production, so rice is rarely grown due to water scarcity. The region mainly cultivates wheat and corn as staple crops. Farmers across China are harvesting wheat as the harvest season begins, using combine harvesters. Currently, 1.67 million hectares of wheat have been harvested across China, accounting for about 8.2% of the total wheat planting area. Data from the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs indicates that over 650,000 modern combine harvesters will be deployed to harvest the crops. This is shaping up to be an excellent harvest. Have you ever seen a vast area full of rye straw bales from above? If not, this is your chance to take a look. Currently, China can produce about 200 million tons of rice annually. If there are no natural large-scale disasters, the rice supply is even surplus in the market. Additionally, some countries have tightened grain exports, but their measures are unlikely to affect China's food security, especially for rice. Since May, China has begun large-scale cultivation of sea rice across the country. Sea rice is a type of salt-tolerant and alkali-tolerant rice designed to grow in tidal flats or other areas with high salt concentrations. This type of rice was developed through crossbreeding and advanced technologies. China plans to convert 66,667 hectares of alkaline land into rice paddies. Let's see how farmers in Gansu, northwest China, are walking behind machines to efficiently lay straw grids in the desert to combat desertification. This project, constructed by China, is an essential green belt built along the Hotan-Ruijiang railway line, which runs along the southern edge of the Taklamakan Desert in Xinjiang, China. A team of Chinese scientists led by Yuan Longping, known as the father of hybrid rice, has successfully experimented with growing rice using seawater. Now, they have brought this technology to the Middle East to test rice cultivation in the desert. According to Xinhua news agency, this rice variety has been tested using seawater since January in China. Last week, they harvested the rice with results exceeding expectations, yielding 7,500 kilograms per hectare compared to the global average yield of 3,000 kilograms per hectare. This has encouraged scientists to scale up the project. The aim of this project is to grow rice covering 10% of the area of the United Arab Emirates and transform barren deserts into fertile rice fields. Xinhua reported that the project in Dubai is a result of the collaboration between the China Seawater Rice Research and Development Center, based in Qingdao Port, and the Sheikh Saeed bin Ahmed Al Maktoum Private Research Center, managed by a member of the billionaire Dubai family. The two parties have signed an agreement to promote the cultivation of seawater rice across the Arab world to reduce the risk of future food shortages. While scientists in some other countries, such as Israel and Australia, are concerned about severe freshwater shortages and are struggling with technology to convert seawater into freshwater for farming, China has been developing salt-tolerant rice varieties for over 40 years. Mr. Yuan mentioned last year that China has over 1 million square kilometers of wasteland, equivalent to the size of Ethiopia, where vegetation is difficult to grow due to high salt and potassium content in the soil. If 1/10 of this area were planted with salt-tolerant rice, it could increase China's rice production by 20%, providing 50 million tons of food, enough to feed 200 million people. The salt-tolerant rice project began in the 1970s when researcher Chen Risheng discovered wild rice varieties growing near mangrove forests in Guangdong province. After 4 decades of crossbreeding and gene screening, scientists developed 8 different rice varieties, but their yields were still too low for large-scale cultivation. However, last year, a group of Chinese scientists made a breakthrough by inventing a high-yield rice variety that produces more than 4.5 tons per hectare, double the previous yield. The first seawater-tolerant rice was planted last fall near the coast of Qingdao and has already been supplied to supermarkets. That's the end of today's video. Are you interested in similar agricultural projects in other countries? If so, do you know of any specific projects you'd like to learn more about? Please leave a comment below. Goodbye, and see you in the latest videos from Top Wonders.